Hi, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. If you are watching this, then I think it's the new year. I'm not sure when I'm posting this, but if it is the new year, happy new year and welcome if you're new, or welcome back if you're a returning viewer. I appreciate everyone who watches so much. And this video, as you can tell by the title, is going to be the top 10 books that I want to read in 2026. Now, last year, I only made a top 8 because I was trying to give myself some wiggle room where if there were some months where I wasn't like in a good reading mood, then I only had to read 8, only had to. I don't have to read anything, but I only had 8 books on the list. And unfortunately, my year just went to shit regardless of how much wiggle room I gave myself. And I feel like I really want to do a nice even 10 this year. So am I setting myself up for failure? Perhaps. Perhaps I am. But you know what? I'm going to fail happily. And let's talk about the 10 books I want to read. These are going to be in absolutely no particular order. I'm just going to pull from the stack that I made, and I will be reading the synopsis on the back of the book. I have the memory that God gave a goose, okay? I'm a goose brain. I don't know shit. So if you have a problem with me reading the back of the book, this might not be the channel for you because I do it quite often. I have a lot going on upstairs. And unfortunately, synopses are just way in the back, and it's really hard to get them to come forward when I need them. Okay, I guess the first book I'm going to talk about is The Daughters of Izdihar by Hadir Elsbai. And as far as I know, this has been described as like Avatar: The Last Airbender, but for adults. So let's read the synopsis together. As a water weaver, Nahal can move and shape any water to her will, but she's limited by her lack of formal education. She desires nothing more than to attend the newly opened Weaving Academy, take complete control of her powers, and pursue a glorious future on the battlefield with the first all-female military regiment. But her family cannot afford to let her go. Crushed under her father's gambling debt, Nahal is forcibly married into a wealthy merchant family. Her new spouse, Nico, is indifferent and distant and in love with another woman, a bookseller named Georgina. Ooh, tea. Georgina has her own secret, however. She is an earth weaver with dangerously uncontrollable powers. She has no money and no prospects. I'm already 27. I have no money and no prospects. Anyways, she has no money and no prospects. Her only solace comes from her activities with the Daughters of Izdihar, a radical women's rights group at the forefront of a movement with a simple goal: for women to have a say in their own lives. They live very different lives and come from very different means, yet Nahal and Georgina have more in common than they think. The cause, and Nico, brings them into each other's orbit, drawn in by the group's enigmatic leader, Malak Mamdouh, and the urge to do what is right. But their problems may seem small in the broader context of their world, as tensions are rising with a neighboring nation that desires an end to weaving and weavers. As Nahal and Georgina fight for their rights to party. I'm so sorry. I'll be serious. As Nahal and Georgina fight for their rights, the threat of war looms in the background, and the two women find themselves struggling to earn and keep a lasting freedom. Okay, I'm a little bit in a giggly mood because I did not sleep a lot last night and I had a lot of coffee. I'm so sorry, but this sounds really good. It does sound like Avatar: The Last Airbender. It also says at the top that it's inspired by Egyptian history, which is cool. And obviously it's going to be very feminist, like women's rights and fighting for freedom. It sounds really good. And also the author, her author picture, it's super tiny, so I'm not even going to bother to show you, but she just has like the sweetest smile. She looks like she's such a sweetheart. Like she's just radiating kindness. Anyways, sorry. I got distracted by a beautiful smile. I think this sounds amazing. The weavers are obviously like the benders equivalent in Avatar, so that's so fun. And I kind of like how obviously the two girls become, it doesn't say they become friends, but obviously they become like acquaintances and end up having to work together so that they don't let this man like get in the way of the fact that they want to fight for the same goal. And I feel like that is so fresh because, like there's always girl hate for no reason between female characters. So I am excited to read this one. The next book I would like to get to next year is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I actually won this in a giveaway. I won this one and the sequel in a giveaway. So thank you, Orbit. I love you. And this one is, I believe it's a romantasy, or it's been marketed as romantasy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, is the romance heavy in here? I don't know. But regardless, I'm so intrigued by it. And even though I'm not really like a romance girly, I feel like I could like this one. Plus her name is Rachel. And I like to trust other Rachels, especially if they spell it correctly, Rachel and not AEL. No offense if you're an AEL, but the EL way is correct. Can you tell I've had too much caffeine? I'm so sorry. And this synopsis says, Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie, mist-locked kingdom of Blunder. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped in her head. Also, mercurial is such a good word. I love that. He protects her. He keeps her secrets. But nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, her life takes a drastic turn, thrust into a world of shadow and deception. She joins a dangerous quest to cure Blunder of the dark magic infecting it. Except the highwayman just so happens to be the king's own nephew, captain of the most dangerous men in Blunder, and guilty of high treason. A maiden must unleash the monster within to save her kingdom in this dark, lush, gothic fantasy debut. They don't mention anything about romance in here, but like, I feel like I heard it was a romantasy. Is it a romantasy or is it just a gothic like fantasy? I'm kind of matching the cover, like green and black. I'm not wearing gold. Well, my glasses are gold, so I guess I do match. Okay. Twins. Sorry. I need to pull it together for the rest of this video. Can't wait to read that one. The next book I really, really want to read next year is The Sirens by Amelia Hart. She wrote one of my favorite books of all time, which is Wayward. I don't talk about it a lot, like in the general scope of my channel, but it is a book I love so much and has just wormed its way into my DNA. Like I think about it constantly. I actually don't know what this one's about other than that Amelia Hart wrote it. And so I was like, okay, absolutely, I need that. And my aunt gave it to me for my birthday, and she's so kind. Ooh, okay, I can already tell that we're following 3 timelines again, which is the same format she did in Wayward. So I love that, and that makes me even more excited. The synopsis says, 2019, Lucy awakens in the middle of the night with her hands around her ex-lover's throat. Horrified, she flees to her older sister's house on the Australian coast, hoping Jess can help explain the vivid dreams that preceded the attack. But she's nowhere to be found. Desperate for answers, Lucy finds and begins to read her sister's adolescent diary. 1999. Jess is a lonely 16-year-old in a rural town in the middle of the continent, diagnosed with a rare allergy to water. She has always felt different until her young, charming art teacher takes an interest in her drawings, seeing a power and maturity in them and in her that no one has. Ugh. Not the teacher predator. 1800. Twin sisters Mary and Eliza. Sorry. I need you guys to reach through the camera and slap some sense into me right now. The large coffee that I had, and also I didn't eat lunch. I just had a single piece of cheese. It's not helping. Okay, I've controlled myself.
Have you controlled yourself literally at all? I don't think so.
1800. Twin sisters Mary and Eliza are torn from their home in Ireland and forced onto a convict ship bound for Australia. Since their mother's drowning when they were girls, they've feared the ocean. But as the boat bears them farther and farther from all they know, they feel the water calling to them. As Lucy awaits Jess's return, strange rumors surrounding her sister's small town start to emerge. Numerous men have disappeared at sea. A tiny baby was found hidden in a cave, and sailors tell of hearing women's voices on the waves. A breathtaking tale of female resilience and the bonds of sisterhood across time and space. The Sirens captures the power of dreams and the mystery and magic of the sea. I'm gagged. Why am I already want to cry. I know this is gonna really touch my heartstrings. I'm so excited. I grew up in the ocean state. I'm not like into being in the ocean, but I love the sound of the ocean, the smell of the waves. I love warm sand in my toes. I just don't love being in the ocean because I'm scared of sharks. But I'm excited for this. I also married a sailor, which is funny. because I don't like being in the ocean. And this is about sailors going missing. That means I can get some ideas to threaten my husband with. I'm just kidding. I would never do that. I'm so sorry. You guys are really getting the absolute craziest version of me. I'm so sorry. I'm really excited for this one. If you can't tell, first of all, Amelia Hart's covers are just always stunning. And I love, love, love what she does with the multiple points in time and history that like these threads follow each other, interweave, connect, not all this stuff. Like I love what she does with that, I guess, writing device. It's also, how long is it? How long are you, sweetheart? 331 pages. A walk in the park. The next book I really want to read, and soon, is When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. I've just heard that this is literally fucking insane. I've never read a Nat Cassidy book. I do also have Mary by him. I bought them both last year because of Riley from Riley Marie, who I will link down below. I love her content. She's such a sweetheart, and she reads a lot of like romance and horror and fantasy and historical romance, which I also want to get into because of her. So stay tuned for that, maybe. But yeah, where is the synopsis? It's very small. One night, Jess, this is 2 Jesses in a row. One night, Jess, a struggling actress, finds a 5-year-old runaway hiding in the bushes outside her apartment. After a violent, bloody encounter with the boy's father, she and the boy find themselves running for their lives. As they attempt to evade the boy's increasingly desperate father, horrifying incidents of butchery follow them. At first, Jess thinks she understands what they're up against, but she's about to learn that there's more to these surreal and grisly events than she could ever imagine. And that when the wolf finally comes home, no one will be spared. I've just heard it's crazy. I've just heard it's really fucking insane. I'm so excited to read, although I'm not gonna lie. The content warning list did scare me a little bit. I can't do needles. And also there's parent death, which might be a little too fresh in my mind at the moment. Child death and child trauma and child endangerment. So, but also it says part 1, all dads are motherfuckers. And I just think that's really funny because true. On a lighter note, the next book I want to get to next year is Carl's Doomsday Scenario by Matt Dinniman. And this is book 2 in the Dungeon Crawler Carl world. I'm just going to tell you about book 1 because this is book 2. We're not going to spoil you. So in book 1, there's a man named Carl. He's chasing his ex-girlfriend's cat outside in the snow. He's wearing his underwear. He's wearing Crocs. He has a jacket. He runs outside. He's trying to get the cat inside. Next thing he knows, every fucking building in the world smushes, flattens, pancakes. People are dead. People are dead. There's hundreds of thousands of millions of people dead. And then there's some people who lived. And then an alien voice speaks to everybody and is like, congratulations, you have not died in the retaking of materials, blah, blah, blah. If you'd like to go into the dungeon to perform this TV show thing, you can go in there. And then these like doors come out of nowhere and people go into this dungeon. And then it's like a dungeon dwelling diving game show. It's an alien TV game show. It's like reality alien TV. And it's a lit RPG. So like in Carl's vision, there's like a HUD. If you don't know what that means, it's like when the information is on your screen, like your health, your weapon, map, inventory, stuff like that. Okay. So it's like a lit RPG situation in the dungeon, and Carl has to figure out how to level up. He has to figure out how to defeat these enemies. He takes Donut with him, which is the cat's name is Princess Donut, Queen and the Chunk. And it's just really funny. I can't fucking lie to you. It's a little bit dude bro. It is a little bit dude bro. Like I acknowledge that. But you know what? I'm a gamer. And like that shit's funny to me. It just is. It's just funny to me. There's a lot of stuff in there that is so funny. There's like an achievement announcer and like a notification announcer in Carl's head who has a foot fetish. He is literally obsessed with Carl's feet. And like it's just funny. I don't know. I think it's funny. I'm just going to read what I enjoy this year. I'm so tired of caring if people are like, oh my God, you're reading this book. Yeah, it was a little sad. It was a little funny. Like it was a little mysterious. Like there's definitely a couple of humans that are like, are they human? They're kind of up to no good. Like what's going on with that particular person? Like, I don't know. I think it was really well-rounded overall. Anyways, I'm babbling. I'm going to read this one. Now that I'm talking about Carl, like I really think maybe I'll read this in January. Don't quote me. I'm in the middle of trying to break a huge reading slump. So I can't make myself any promises. The next book I want to read next year is The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. I love this cover. It's simple, but I just think it's really beautiful. Something so beautiful about it. This synopsis says, Luli al-Nazari is the midnight merchant, a criminal who, with the help of her jinn bodyguard, hunts and sells illegal magic. When she saves the life of a cowardly prince, she draws the attention of his powerful father, the Sultan, who blackmails her into finding an ancient lamp. With no choice but to obey or be executed, Luli journeys with the Sultan's oldest son to find the artifact. In a world where story is reality and illusion is truth, Luli will discover that everything, her enemy, her magic, even her own past, is not what it seems. That's all it gives us, which really isn't a lot of... Ooh, is that a picture? Did I just see a big picture? Hold the... Oh! Don't read the words. I'm not looking at the words. I'm going to flash this to you real quick. I love when books do this. It's a scroll. There's art on the page to make it look like we're reading a letter on a scroll. I'm not reading the words. I don't want to spoil myself. But isn't that cool? Don't look at the words. Just look at the art. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to show you the top. Like, see how it's like, you can see the paper? I think that's so fun. I am nothing if not a child at heart. And I think little touches like that inside of a book are so fun. And you know what? Grown-ups deserve fun too. Oh, it happened again. It happened again. Okay. I'm done fangirling over that little fun media moment. So this one sounds really good. It is definitely like Middle Eastern inspired, and the magic lamp makes me think of Aladdin, which I'm sure is not related, but I think this one is going to be really rich in atmosphere. And again, I've only ever heard good things about this, so excited to get to it. The next book I want to read next year is a book that I have put on like two or three TBRs in the year of 2025, but that's because I really want to read it. But it's so huge and I just haven't had time to commit and focus to such a thick book. And that is The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. Like, look at it. Like, that's literally a third of my head. It's so big. Oh, there's literally a bookmark in here. Ooh, pretty. Wait, that matches. Ooh, fun. Okay. I'll put that back. The synopsis for this one says, let us fly now to the Empire of Oran, where after 24 years of peace, the reign of Bursin the Brusque has come to an end. In the dizzying heat of midsummer, 7 exceptional warriors, thinkers, and strategists compete to replace him. When one of them is murdered, it falls to Nima Kra, the Emperor's brilliant, idiosyncratic high scholar, to find the killer and fight for the throne. But we are here to help. All she has to do is let us in. If she succeeds, we will win an empire. If she fails, death awaits her. But we won't let that happen. We are the Raven, and we are magnificent. I get chills every time I read this. I've read that synopsis so many times. I'm not even kidding you. I have goosebumps right now, and my eyes are watering. You can't tell. There is something about the way that it says, but we are here to help her. All she has to do is let us in. It sounds so like mischievous, and it almost doesn't sound helpful. Like, it almost sounds like ill intent. Like, is this like secret society? Like, are they evil? Are they good? Are they actually going to help her? Are they magical? I heard there's a dragon in here. It's not there for a long time, but apparently it's there for a good time. And also this cover, it's simple. I know that. I'm acknowledging that, but purple is my favorite color. I love crows and ravens so much. So this cover was perfect for me. I love it. It's beautiful. Also, it's silver foil with a little bit of gold around the edges. It's just beautiful. It's like, look at that. So shiny. Like, okay, I am obviously a crow because shiny things easily amuse me, but it's enormous. Like, this book is fucking huge. It's 643 pages long. She's thick, and I can't wait to read that one. So please, I'm begging you, if you see me at the halfway point of next year and you haven't heard me talk about reading that book yet, yell at me. Yell at me to read The Raven Scholar. I need it. Okay, we're almost done. 2 books left. The next book I'm going to talk about is The Last Vigilant by Mark A. Latham. My friend Mara read this book and she loved it. And I heard about this book, I believe it was in my anticipated releases video last year. So I will link that and put it in the description down below if I can find it. It's been a while. But the synopsis for this one says, war between once peaceful nations is on the horizon and the child of a powerful ally is missing. Now, Holt Hawley, an outcast soldier, has been sent to find a myth, a vigilant, one of the last survivors of an ancient and powerful order whose magic could be the key to finding the child. but the vigilance disappeared long ago. No one truly expects him to succeed. When, in a fabled forest, he stumbles upon a woman who claims to be the last vigilant, Enelda Drake is wizened and out of practice, and she seems a far cry from the hero of legend, but they will need her powers and each other to survive. For nothing in their kingdom is as it seems. Corrupt soldiers and calculating politicians thwart their efforts at every turn, and there are dark whispers on the wind, threatening the arrival of a primordial and powerful enemy. The Vigilant is not the only myth returning from the dead. Doesn't that sound so fun? Doesn't that sound so fun? And also, I am obsessed with the fact that Enelda Drake is like an older woman. She's old. Like, it says she's wizened. Like, her hair is long and it's like stark white, and she has wrinkles. Like, on the cover, I can see them. She has wrinkles and like sunspots. Like, she's older. She's an older woman main character. I'm so excited. Plus, the name Enelda Drake, iconic. And I feel like a lot of times the women are just always like just so young and beautiful. And like, not that she's ugly, she's not ugly, but it's just nice to see the representation. Because we're aging. Every day we get closer to death. We're just all aging rapidly. So yeah, it's just nice to see. I'm kind of hoping this is, there's also a crow on the cover of this one. I'm really hoping this is kind of like a grumpy situation where she's like a reluctant mentor and he's like a reluctant student / chauffeur because he's having to take her. Was sent to get her, so like a reluctant messenger, and then it's like a grumpy. That would really work for me. Or if she's like a crazy bat, like a crazy old bat, and he's grumpy and she's like not really sunshine, but she's just kind of like wild, that would be also so funny. I'm just giving myself expectations that are probably not what's happening in here. But anyways, I'm really excited for this one, and I love to see the representation of an older woman who I'm assuming is going to be really powerful. Okay, I told you before we had 2 left, but now I actually have 2 left. So the next book I want to read in 2026 is Delicious Monsters by Liselle Sambury. And this one, I don't know, I picked this up on a whim at Barnes & Noble like a year and a half ago, I think. And there's just something about it that really makes me want to read it. Daisy sees dead people, something impossible to forget in bustling, ghost-packed Toronto. She usually manages to deal with her unwanted ability, but she's completely unprepared to be dumped by her boyfriend. So when her mother inherits a secluded mansion in Northern Ontario, where she spent her childhood summers, Daisy jumps at the chance to escape, but the house is nothing like Daisy expects, and she begins to realize that her experience with the supernatural might be no match for her mother's secrets, nor what lurks within the walls. A decade later, Brittany is desperate to get out from under her thumb of her abusive mother. A best-selling author who claims her stay at Miracle Mansion allowed her to see the error of her ways, but Brittany knows that's nothing but a sham. She decides the new season of her popular haunted web series will uncover what happened to a young Black girl in the mansion 10 years prior. So I think that's Daisy. And finally expose her mother's lies. But as she gets more wrapped up in the investigation, she'll have to decide if she can only bring one story to light, which one matters most, Daisy's or her own. As Brittany investigates the mansion in the present, Daisy's story runs parallel in the past, both timelines propelling the girls to face the most dangerous monsters of all, those that hide in plain sight. So I think this is about mothers who are fucking horrible. And there's also like a mystery, and it's also kind of giving me the Haunting of Hill House vibes. So I'm just really intrigued by that one. I can't wait to read it. And last, but certainly not least, is The Night Ends with Fire by KX Song. Let's take a moment for the beautiful end pages. This synopsis says, the 3 kingdoms are at war, but Malin's father refuses to answer the imperial draft. Trapped by his opium addiction, he plans to sell Malin for her dowry, but when Malin discovers her husband-to-be is another violent, ill-tempered man, she realizes that nothing will change for her unless she takes matters into her own hands. Hell yeah, Malin. The very next day, she disguises herself as a boy and enlists in her father's place. Oh my god, it's Milan. I forgot. I knew that. It's Milan. In the army, Malin's relentless hard work brings her recognition, friendship, and a growing closeness with Sky, a prince-turned-training partner, but has she simply exchanged one prison for another? As her kingdom barrels toward destruction, Malin begins to have visions of a sea dragon spirit who offers her true power and freedom at a deadly price. With the future of the 3 kingdoms hanging in the balance, Malin will need to decide whom to trust: Sky, who inspires her loyalty and love, the sea dragon spirit, who has his own murky agenda, or an infuriating enemy prince who makes her question everything she once knew about her kingdom and about her own heart. I'm so sorry. Mulan retelling, but with dragons. And a love triangle, it sounds like. I'm actually so excited for this. I am tempted to save it for Draconithon because obviously I'm always looking for books that will work for Draconithon, especially diverse books that will work for Draconithon. It's 410 pages long, so a little thick, but not too thick. Oh my God, the cover. I forgot the naked hardback says never trust a dragon, which is interesting because the synopsis just said, should she trust the sea dragon? So is that a hint? Is that a hint that the dragon is evil? Okay, so excited. Those are all of the books I'm excited to read in 2026. Among others, there are ones obviously I haven't mentioned, but I'm not going to hold that up for you because I held it up for the thumbnail and almost broke a toe. We're not going to do that again. If you've made it this far in the video, leave a dragon emoji down in the comments because I want 2026 to be filled with magic, fantasy, dragons, and good books. So leave a dragon emoji down in the comments. Let me know which of these books you're interested in, if any, and what is your number one must-read book for 2026. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!